about rounds out our presentation of Serenade for this day. John Fritz bidding you a pleasant day, and of course hoping you'll join us again tomorrow from 9 until 12 noon for relaxing sounds of music on Serenade. The news follows next.
The 5-day forecast issued today for Southern California by the U.S. Weather Bureau calls for no precipitation with near normal temperatures. Slight warming trend is forecast for the beginning of next week. Partial lifting of the cloud cover by noon today will bring warm, somewhat sunny weather to the City of Angels this fine day. 70s at the mountain areas and beach stations, well over 100 in the desert areas. Light eye irritation from smog is prevalent in the Los Angeles basin, according to the APCD. That's the weather picture to this hour from KGBS News. It's 76 degrees at KGBS in the City of Angels. This is Duke Norton with 12 o'clock report. This portion brought to you by Horton and Converse, the nation's leading group of prescription pharmacies, which have served Southern California for 48 years. Navy investigators are attempting to determine the cause of an F-8C Crusader jet crash on the Chocolate Mountain Gunnery Range 45 miles north of El Centro. The pilot, 38-year-old Commander Ide Kimball of San Diego, was killed in the crash yesterday. He is survived by his wife and 4 children. A 27-year-old woman, Mrs. Joan Fortune, was killed in a 2-car collision which injured 4 other persons last night in Fontana. Mrs. Fortune's husband, Frank of Fontana, and 2 nieces, Marjorie and Barbara Fortune of San Bernardino, were injured. The driver of the other car, Edward Jennings of Fontana, is reported in critical condition. 7 men and a woman are in jail today in Long Beach on charges of dealing in narcotics. The suspects were arrested yesterday on Orange County grand jury indictments and warrants issued by Long Beach and Huntington Park Municipal Court. James Allen of Sunset Beach and Abel Arianes of Long Beach were arrested on suspicion of selling marijuana. Gary Cottrell was arrested on suspicion of furnishing marijuana. Arrested on charges of furnishing dangerous drugs were Ronald Rolfe and Douglas Ray Morgan, Belmont Shores. A 24-year-old parolee is back in Los Angeles jail today on suspicion of armed robbery. Sheriff's deputies apprehended Kenneth Lamb last night on an anonymous tip. Officers said Lamb admitted holding up liquor stores and markets in Long Beach, Compton, Torrance, and Linwood since his release from prison 10 weeks ago. Television actress Ann Carroll is free on $276 bail after pleading innocent to charges of driving an auto while under the influence of tranquilizing drugs. Miss Carroll was ordered yesterday to stand trial in Los Angeles Municipal Court. She was arrested Tuesday night after her car was involved in a collision with 2 others. Motion picture and television executive Irving Lesser died yesterday at his New York City home. The 68-year-old Lesser had been associated with his brother Saul in producing a series of Tarzan movies and other films. In recent years, he devoted an increasing amount of time to the television field. More news in a moment. Time now at KGBS, 2 minutes past 12 noon. Horton and Converse offers this reminder: a so-called bargain in a pharmaceutical may bring momentary satisfaction at the saving, but it may also bring long-range dissatisfaction at the results. The prescription pharmacies at Horton and Converse stores are especially aware of the public attitude on today's cost of medicine and medical treatment. They welcome the opportunity to show you that in Horton and Converse, you have made a wise choice of pharmacies, both in quality and cost. Only an old line company like H&C, with 48 years of manufacturing and selling fresh, fully potent, quality pharmaceuticals, accurately measured, can give you peace of mind. And peace of mind at any price is true economy. Be prudent. Be economical. Have your prescriptions filled at one of the 25 conveniently located Horton and Converse stores. In Los Angeles, 515 West 6th Street. In Hollywood, 6315 1/2 Hollywood Boulevard. The world's largest weather satellite has begun its job of scanning the Earth by transmitting a photograph described as excellent in quality. The satellite, the Nimbus A, was launched into orbit today from Vandenberg Air Force Base. The photograph, automatically transmitted from the satellite's television cameras, covered an area around the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, and Louisiana. It was received at the Goddard Space Flight Center in Washington, D.C. at 10:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a spokesman said. The 830-pound experimental spacecraft's television cameras will provide the first television coverage of the entire Earth by a weather satellite. Pitcher Bo Belinsky, suspended from the Los Angeles Angels, says he is ready to play baseball for anyone in the major leagues. Belinsky was ordered to the Hawaii Islander Farm Club as an aftermath of an altercation with a sports writer in Washington, D.C. on August 14th. He was suspended when he failed to report. At an impromptu press conference this morning, Belinsky said, "Rigney made a bad move in suspending me. I'll play ball for anyone in the major leagues. I'm a ball player." A $9,700,000 suit is on file today in Los Angeles Superior Court against James Ardito. The suit filed by industrialist Noah Dietrich charges fraud and secret profits in oil rights negotiations for 6,400 acres of city tidelands. The suit contends Ardito conspired with 3 other men to sell the stock of Los Angeles Harbor Oil Development Company to West States Petroleum. Oilman Morgan Brown faces a September 10th trial in Santa Monica Superior Court on the charge of assault with intent to kill. Brown, accused of shooting a policeman, was ordered to appear yesterday after a municipal court hearing. A similar charge against his wife, Josephine, was dropped. This portion of 12 o'clock report has been presented by Horton & Converse, the nation's leading group of prescription pharmacies, which have served Southern California for 48 years. Time at KGBS, now 5 minutes past 12 noon. 2 young brides-to-be thought their sailor fiancés were just handing them a line when they complained about Navy chow. So Carol Spahn and Edie Lafay, both 17 and of San Lorenzo, decided that their boyfriend's steady complaints against Navy food called for some action. They wrote the Navy in Washington asking if the food was really that bad. As a result, Alameda Naval Air Station asked the young ladies to lunch yesterday. Miss Spahn and Miss Lafay were served an ordinary meal with a menu made up 3 weeks in advance as per Navy regulations. The young ladies' fiancés were out of the area on temporary tours of duty. They are Seaman Charles Orr of Granite City, Illinois, who is engaged to Edie, and Seaman Charles Ballard of Valdosta, Georgia, who is engaged to Carol. The girls ate until they were full. Then Carol commented to Navy chef, that is Robert Peterson, "We think they were just looking for sympathy." And Edie added, "If they ever say our cooking is better than the Navy's, we're going to take it as a great compliment." Elsewhere in the news to this hour, President Johnson and Senator Hubert Humphrey have left Atlantic City for the LBJ Ranch in Texas. The president and his running mate will spend the weekend relaxing and working out campaign plans. Before leaving, Mr. Johnson and Humphrey attended a meeting of the Democratic National Committee. The committee, at the president's request, re-elected John Bailey as national chairman. Mr. Johnson told party leader Senator Goldwater should be concerned about the front lash, that is, defections of GOP voters to the Johnson ticket. The president said Democrats will gain 3 front lash votes for every backlash vote they lose over civil rights. Meanwhile, Senator Goldwater and his running mate, Representative William Miller, talked about the Democrats today. Goldwater is cruising aboard a yacht off the California coast. Miller is campaigning in Olean, New York area. Goldwater said President Johnson's acceptance speech was the most isolationist acceptance speech in modern history. The GOP nominee charged that it avoided world trouble spots. Representative Miller said the Democratic convention showed the Democrats are not fit to run the government. Time at KGBS, now 8 minutes past 12 noon. Hurricane Cleo, which brought havoc to the Florida coast, brushed past Cape Kennedy this morning. No major damage was reported at the huge rocket center. The storm is now greatly reduced, and the Weather Bureau says it shows signs of turning into the Atlantic, bypassing the Georgia coast. A few white mothers watched this morning as 19 Negroes enrolled at white schools in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Horrible, horrible, one woman muttered as 13 Negroes entered Orangeburg Senior High. 2 escaped prisoners were killed this morning in a gunfight with lawmen near Clarksdale, Mississippi. The convicts were among 4 who fled yesterday from the state penitentiary at Parchman. The search continues for the other 2. Overseas, new rioting in Saigon has claimed at least 3 lives. All government control appeared to be gone as mobs drove off unarmed police, fought with axes and machetes, and carried out a public execution. The execution victim was a Catholic student who was captured by a young Buddhist mob. They paraded him through the city streets, hitting him repeatedly with clubs and iron bars before a youngster stabbed him fatally with a butcher knife. Armed paratroopers nearby made no move to intervene. Some 20,000 Turkish demonstrators broke through police lines in Ankara in an attempt to reach the U.S. Embassy. This was the second day of protests over U.S. policy on Cyprus. Shouts of yeah, yeah, yeah greeted shoppers and office workers this morning in New York as Beatle fans took over. The singing quartet arrived at a Park Avenue hotel early in the morning, and their admirers were not long in showing up. Police erected barricades around the hotel to keep the crowds under control, but teenagers managed to disrupt pedestrian and auto traffic and enrage businessmen. Here are the Dow Jones 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time stock averages. 30 industrials, 838.43, up 3.18. 20 rails, up 0.30. 15 utilities, down 0.02. And 65 stocks, up 0.73. Sales totaled 2,590,000 shares. Those are the top news stories covered to this hour on KGBS and 12 o'clock report. The weather forecast for Los Angeles follows in just a moment.
Next time you pour a Bud, pour it right down the middle. Let those tiny Budweiser bubbles get arranged just so at the top of your glass. We go to a barrel of trouble and expense to let Budweiser create its own bubbles with our exclusive Beechwood aging with natural carbonation. A slow, finicky way to brew beer, but brewing Budweiser this way gives it a taste, smoothness, and drinkability you'll find in no other brand. That Bud, that beer.
Night and morning low clouds will continue in the coastal sections, but otherwise Southern California will have sunny weather this afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday. Desert valleys will have moderate gusty winds in the afternoons. Temperatures will not change much and remain a little below normal for this time of year. High temperatures this afternoon will be in the 70s along the beaches, in the mountains and coastal valleys, in the low 80s in the intermediate valleys, and mostly between 95 and 105 in the desert valleys. The Air Pollution Control District says there will be no eye irritation from smog in the Los Angeles basin tomorrow. Current temperature at KGBS, 76 degrees.
Pleasant afternoon to you, and welcome now to Music for Midday from KGBS. This is Showtime, whereby we offer a variety of musical sounds to please all musical tastes. Music from motion picture films, some from Broadway shows, and from television as well. The time now at KGBS, 9 1/2 minutes past noon.
fascination, I know, and it might have ended right then at the start. Just a passing glance, just a brief romance, and I might have gone on my way empty-hearted. It was fascination, I know, seeing you alone with the moonlight above. Then I touched your hand, and next moment I kissed you. Fascination turned to love. It was fascination, I know, seeing you alone with the moonlight above. Then I touched your hand, and next moment I kissed you. Fascination turned
Time now at KGBS, 17 minutes past 12 o'clock noon.
flavors fine. Soft drinks from Del Monte. It is a new wet rage. It is a new beverage. Del Monte, Del Monte, Del Monte is the very most in flavor. Cola, orange, lemon, lime, strawberry.
containers sparkled with so much flavor.
Now's the time to take the fun. No two ways about it. Containers go one way, there's no deposit to pay. Del Monte, Del Monte, Del Monte is the very most in flavor.
Now, soft drinks from Del Monte. That famous red Del Monte shield on sparkling soft drinks.
Get soft drinks from Del Monte.
Wonderful sounds of music in the air everywhere for this noon hour. KGBS presenting Showtime, as we do each day, Monday through Saturday. Yours truly, John Fritz, your host. The time is now 20 minutes past 12 noon.
KGBS Los Angeles looks at your community bulletin board.
The Lions Club of Laguna Beach is holding its 4th annual antique show and sale, August 26th through the 29th. That's at the Elks Hall, 680 South Coast Highway in Laguna Beach. The hours are from 12 noon to 10 p.m. daily. Listen throughout the day for the KGBS Community Bulletin Board and send your club or civic group announcements to Community Calendar, KGBS, Los Angeles 5.
Minutes past the hour of noon, here on Showtime from KGBS.
Stage 3, ready for the love scene, everybody. Dolly in with camera 1. Roll on. Okay, on stage 3, ready for the love scene, everybody. Dolly in with camera 1. Roll on.
Okay, Alicia, take Jeff in your arms. Good. Now run your fingers through his hair. Cut. Makeup. Straighten Jeff's hairpiece. Okay. Roll him. Now kiss him, Alicia. Push her away, Jeff. Tell her you love Carlsberg beer. Good. Now walk to the table. Pour a brimming glass full of Carlsberg. Quaff. Smile. Fine. Alicia, jump out the window. Good. An Academy performance. Print it. What'd you think of it, A.B.?
A great CD, but are you sure people will believe him rejecting the most beautiful woman in Hollywood for a bottle of Carlsberg beer?
A.B., when the audience sees the shape of that new Carlsberg bottle, you won't be able to keep them in their seats.
Carlsberg is irresistible in its new sculptured jewel green bottle with the gold label. Carlsberg, the celebrated beer of Copenhagen, on sale in 159 countries and at the New York World's Fair.
Right back to the music of Showtime. Time out for station identification. And a brief peek at the weather here. The man says night and morning low clouds, but mostly sunny afternoons, both today and Saturday. And temperatures holding about the same. Tomorrow's predicted high, 75. The overnight low tonight, 63. Along with it, we can expect some eye irritation from light smog here in the Los Angeles basin tomorrow.
This is Los Angeles, a city on the move. And this is the sound of music in the air everywhere in Southern California. From KGBS, Los Angeles.
The time now at the Music Center is just 23 minutes before 1 p.m. Our current temperature reading here at KGBS, 75 degrees.
guard frame for stability. Studebaker, the common sense car. Rust-proof parts for durability. Head and leg room for flexibility. Giant windshields for visibility. Studebaker, the common sense car.
If you buy a new car now that'll be old style in a month, it's no bargain. But if you buy a beautiful new Studebaker with unchanging body style, it'll look new year after year. Your Studebaker dealer can save you money on one right now. See him.
Get Studebaker, the common sense car. The body's always in style. Get Studebaker, the common sense car. Come in and drive for the trial.
In Los Angeles, your Studebaker dealer is Frost & French Incorporated at 230 Southwestern Avenue. You're now set at 102, the quality frequency here in the first city of the West, 50,000-watt KGBS in Los Angeles, and you're in tune with the music of Showtime. It's now 13 and 1/2 minutes before 1 p.m.
Listen, America. A voice of freedom speaks. Transatlantic from London, England, Bob Hope.
In this age of Sputniks, Smutniks, and goodness knows whatniks, we need to hang hard and fast to the philosophy which in 1787 caused a group of men to begin a country's constitution with the phrase, "We the people." By Freedom's Foundation Award winner Judy Edwinson, Atchison, Kansas.
What have you done today to preserve, protect, and perpetuate American ideals? Voices of Freedom will be heard again. Presented with the special music of the United States Army Band and Chorus by America's radio stations and the Freedom Foundation at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Produced by the Sora Broadcasting Company.
KGBS time in Los Angeles, 5 minutes until 1 p.m.